Hello ladies and gents, I am Anna Diffin, and welcome back to From the Depths, Ashes of the Empire Community Edition. So, to start with, I need to make a correction. I made a mistake in the last episode, and that is the Burnstar Paladin Mark III is actually by the designer Video Games, not Red the Rage. So I am very sorry, Video Games, but I mislabeled your design there. So, still awesome design, it's exactly the same, it's just, unfortunately, I did name it incorrectly, and that is, for those who cannot remember, it is this design here. So thank you very much for Morton for pointing that out for me. If there are any other mistakes anyone notices like that, please do inform me, and I will rectify it as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, with the over 300 designs I have included in the Ashes of the Empire Let's Play at the moment, I unfortunately have got a couple mixed up, though doing pretty well so far. Regardless, let us carry on with looking at the new designs for today's episode. So to start with, we have the Scrap Panther by Elwina, a 10k design, a fairly cheap little tank. This does not. This is the Vanquisher. I clicked on the wrong thing, didn't I? Right, let's click on the right thing. Scrap Panther. There we go. Like that. Whoa, this is a very fast tank. And it's a wood. It's got missile launchers there. This is very fast. 50 meters per second. Good grief, this is speedy. It looks like it could be quite explosive, but it's a really quite awesome design. Fairly exposed all around, all things considered. So let's send against something from the Dustwind Gypsy to start with. Send against the Taipan. Sort of burst gun. Just drifting around. It's keeping well on target, but it does have shielding as well. See how it focuses in. Sorry about the swaying. There you go. I'll move the swaying there. You can see how it functions. It's target, and I just got myself killed. So you can hopefully see the combat from a distance. It's annoying because there's some sort of glitch going on there. It's to do with the simple weapons. They aren't taken into account of the resilience of Rambots, so you essentially just get one-shotted by any of the simple weapons, even though I can survive like a cram hit with all the buffs I've now given myself. Okay, so heat rounds are not good against this. This just dies to heat, which, considering what I've seen internally of it with all those barrels, that kind of makes sense. So let's just delete it. Let's load it in and then face it off against let's send against the Orion from the Steel Empire, see how it works there. Admittedly, the cram cannons from the Orion are probably not a very good thing. As I was saying, it was not a very good thing to test it against, because cram cannons, if they strike the Scrap Panther, will probably kill it almost immediately. So let's try it with another one. Okay, so the shields there are deflecting most of the attack. Yeah, so it's just deflecting off the shields. You can see by the tracers when they strike, yep, going straight up into the sky. So I need something which isn't armoured. The Bombard. Oh, cram cannons fall a little bit short there. There we go. Ooh! Good grief. I'm trying to test the combat prowess. Everything's just blowing you up. Right, let's just do a building, maybe. Okay, let's just spawn a couple of buildings, because I want to see how well this actually strikes things other than it's getting killed. So unfortunately, it is very vulnerable. It's made a lot of wood and its weapons are exposed, but it does look so good. It's a really nice looking design. And its weapons are very potent. Albeit they don't have the... Yeah, so they're just breaking through blocks very nicely there, but they don't have any fuses. If they are... that they might just be kinetic rounds. Yeah, could just be kinetic. But yes, the instinct choice on this is very different to pretty much anything else. You don't see many wooden tanks, and the exposed features just make it look really nice, and which is really quite cool. Unfortunately, because it's wood, it's ridiculously vulnerable to being destroyed. So it's great. It is going to probably suffer a lot of death and destruction in the Let's Play due to how squishy it is compared to the forces it's going to be facing. Speaking of designs though, which it should be facing, the Lehman Russ Vanquisher by DeMadDoc82 should do nicely. This is the long-barreled version of the Lehman Russ tank, the tank destroyer variant. So this should do nicely against something fairly chunky. So we'll send this against the Bombard. So there we go, fires its round, and there is a Hesh round in there. So Lehman Russ, as usual, has good resilience and is able to survive a nice amount of hits, though taking a solid cram shell to the front will ruin anyone's day. So let's just open up another Vanquisher. There's a problem when facing off against the Onyx Watch. Cram cannons do so much damage. The Hesh round is doing a lot, but yeah, if any of those cram cannons hit, they just completely annihilate you. And there's the same thing which has happened with both of these last couple of tanks. This one's taking a little bit more of a beating though, because it does have a lot more metal and heavy armour. But even so, get a nasty cram cannon hit there and then it will just be destroyed. Because cram is very, very potent. You can see again, took a nasty hit there from the cram. Still, the round is very strong and will do a lot of damage against the enemy forces, particularly the Onyx Watch, so long as it doesn't get struck. Because if it gets struck, it's going to have a bad time. Next, we have another design by Charcharodon, the Metal Mower, and 35k design. The variant of the metal ones, and this one, well, it's got a lot of metal protection around the wheels, and what appears to be a single cannon. Interesting. So let's see how this faces off against the Onager. So it's a big, high explosive round, it seems. And just keeps that up. Okay, well, it's high explosive Hesh. Good grief, this is a very, very, very potent tank. At short range, I don't think the shell is going to be fast enough for long range, but it's relentless. Okay, it's now just killing itself. Okay, what's happening there? Oh, it lost one of the middle barrel segments, so it was just hitting the barrel over and over again. Okay, that was relentless. That is insane. Certainly a short-ranged version, but wow, that once it gets into range, that relentless bombardment is just, good grief, it's almost killed the entire thing. It hasn't killed it totally, but it's almost taken it down to the 2 damage state rather than just AI deading it. There's nothing left internally. There we go, it's now 2 damaged and it's still just pounding through. This metal spalling just ripping through the internal components. There's barely anything left alive in this. Very, very, very potent design there. The only problem is that if it does keep hitting its own barrel, that will be a bit of a problem. Next up, we have the Bustiest anti-aircraft tank by Morton, a 27k design. So let's have a little look-see at this thing. So it's a fairly blocky design. Are these actually rams or what are... Okay, so they look like they're rams, but it would actually be better if they actually had a ram at the front, but still. Main thing is that this is an anti-aircraft tank, and it does have a very hardened cap at the top here. It's a symmetrical turret, which is always quite nice. I do like that feature, particularly on anti-aircraft tanks. Just myself, I do like it as a cosmetic feature. So let's see how it performs against Steel Empire. Let's send it against a couple of the Shadow Cats, I think. Very fast turning, very high rate of fire there. Whoa. Okay. Oh. Well, they didn't break the heavy armor, but they broke off all the functional components of it there. That isn't good. Not much you can really do about that. If the functional components get detonated, you're pretty much stuck. Well, let's try it again. Let's just try against one Reaper instead now. So a big spray of shots. Missiles, if they're hitting the body, that's good there. What's the damage like received actually at these resultant and there? Accuracy's a little bit off, but it's mostly being bounced off shields, it seems. Maybe they aren't fused. Bit of a problem, though its shields are working very, very well. And the heavy armor is generally quite good. It just does seem that, unfortunately, a couple of hits here can cause a chain reaction. Ooh. Oh, that isn't good. Looks like the entire thing is being caught up just on that cooling vent. Yeah, it looks like the whole thing. So if this block gets destroyed, the turret will pop. That isn't necessarily a good idea. Just make it quite vulnerable if that gets damaged. Hopefully the heavy armor will keep it all in check. But it is quite a vulnerability. I could put a few blocks there to prevent that vulnerability, but it's working quite well and is a little bit of vulnerability. Still, next we have the Light Sam Mark 3, well no, Mark 2 by Richard Dastardly. Sort of thing. Mark 3, because I'm probably going to need a third one because I am very good at killing anti-aircraft tanks, aren't I? Regardless, we have a couple more anti-aircraft tanks now. So we have the anti-aircraft tank with cannons, and now this one is with missiles and a couple of simple cannons there. So again, I'll send this against a couple of Shadow Cats there. So, ooh, these are, wow, they're rather agile. Oh, look at these missiles, these are really agile. That's quite something. We'll actually have to test this against one of the Twin Guard drones, actually. Because this was designed to face off against the drones. Yeah, let's have a look at the path view. Yeah, those are incredibly agile missiles. That is really, really impressive design. Has one of these missed yet? No, it's killed all its targets. Awesome. So, let's go against Twin Guard regular, isn't it, drones? Yep. Let's send it against the Irritation. These missiles fly up. They ignore flares, and that... Okay, it just AI deaded the Irritation in a single barrage. Okay. This is awesome. But what are these missiles? This is a fantastic setup. Let's just cue them. So it's a very variable thruster, 3 fins, 3 tanks, AP and guidance, 3 warheads, and a single pixel IR seeker. Interesting. Very interesting. Because that does make them a little bit faster, reduces the drag. Because you don't need the... Because it's on a 2-axis turret, you don't really need the normal IR seeker for the bigger range. So this, yeah. And that drag probably does help. So yeah, really nice. The fact that it destroyed the drone in one shot. Those things have taken me, 5-10 minutes to kill before now. So I'm liking this tank. I'm really liking this tank. Hopefully it'll work nicely in the battle. So I might end up having it against the Steel Empire, Twin Guard or Steel Empire. It's be good against both. Just hopefully, probably won't send it. Then again, I might end up sending it against the Onyx Watch, which will be dumb. But what have I done to be sensible in this Let's Play? Regardless, let us head over to the main game and load up the campaign then. So in fact, oops, that's not the pipeline. In fact, I think, looking at the forces, I'm going to add everything into the Steel Empire force. Because, although quite a few designs would probably work well with Twin Guard, I have a lot of designs in the Twin Guard force. The Onyx Watch force is also pretty potent. So, let's add it all into the Steel Empire force and go from there. Let's just hop over onto this and then spawn all the new designs in. So those are being repaired nice and quickly in the Steel Empire force there. Now let's head over to this Onyx Watch tile and do a massive battle over here. Okay, as suspected, both forces have spawned in. Probably means that they're going to crash into each other. But this could be a very, very, very interesting battle. Or it could just crash, one or the other. But if it crashes, you probably won't know about it, because I will have cut out that content of it being crashed. So, okay, this is one bit of a problem. We are outnumbered over 2-to-1 by the Onyx Watch forces here. Fortunately for me, the 2 combat forces which spawned in did spawn within each other. So we've got a couple of designs there which are going to explode. The rhinos are going to crash into each other. So this is probably going to have a real hard time initially. So let's just spawn it in and see what happens and see who explodes. Good luck. See, yeah, immediately several of the Onyx Watch crafters get immediately disintegrated by the collision there. So the first 2 there got completely obliterated. The Rhino took a massive loss to the corner, but the rest of them are firing all their cram cannons, even though some are still flying in the air. Though the fragmentation rounds there from Hikari's craft is doing a good amount of damage and getting close in range. And some of the cram cannons have struck, doing a little bit of damage to our vehicles then, but not too bad, considering the number of shots fired from the Onyx Watch. Some of the bombs now coming down and just missing there, but then they do fire and hit. Next load of cram cannons though flinging out. The game is going pretty slow at this point, but I have sped up the post-recording quite a bit. And there we go, the Baneblade does take a nasty strike from that barrage, but doesn't actually take too much damage, which is nice. More cram cannons flying around at our forces, though I am noticing we are having a little bit of trouble with the motion. A couple of those flyers are actually just falling out of the air. So I suspect there is a problem with the fuel at this point. And as you can see there, the missiles are flying straight in the air and then fall back down, blowing them up. So quickly put on resource view and notice, no fuel whatsoever. This is a problem. I have no fuel against Onyx Watch. That means the tanks are stationary against cram cannons, and being stationary against cram cannon is a recipe for disaster. So I quickly move over to one of the tanks and spawn it in with a load of fuel there, so as I have some fuel to allow things to movement. So the shields back on, quickly ensure that the fuel has distributed fairly evenly through everything, which it has. Unfortunately, things were not moving enough and took a nasty strike there. So there the Spag takes a nasty hit and pops its turret, being struck by a lot of cram hits. My lasercraft is now back online, trying to get back in the sky, but unfortunately it's not doing very well, but it's still being able to fire its laser beam accurately there. All the other tank designs though have been taking massive amounts of hits, because even when they're moving, what has happened is that they have all stopped because the Onyx Watch have been nearby, which has resulted in them just staying still due to the tank AI and how that functions, that it will stop moving when close proximity. So things are going badly. Lots of stuff is taking a lot of damage and generally aren't doing the damage I need. So I decided at this point I've got to get out and jump in to try and capture these vehicles as quickly as possible, because Rambot is very effective at taking out the AI and capturing them as quickly as possible. And to be honest, I am a little bit quicker at it than some of my tanks are at destroying them. So I quickly get through and just blow up, taking out the AI cores and capturing them as soon as possible. Now this has the secondary benefit of the fact that I can now scrap ones I capture for parts. And admittedly the Onyx Watch is not as valuable as the Lightning Hoods, but each design has been netting me around about 20 to around about 25k in materials. A little bit less than the Lightning Hoods, but when I was Lightning Hoods it was primarily those Lux, which was getting me like over 100k materials. And I have a bit of a deficit of materials, around about 90k at the moment, so everything I have is very good. It's a good amount of materials, but not if I want to continue to spawn in 10 to 50k designs each episode, and this will help out in that regard. And there we have victory, but at extreme cost, because we ran out of fuel again. So yeah, that's a bit of a pain. Oh great, these haven't been producing fuel, like at all. Alright, well, no wonder I've been having difficulty with fuel. I've been building refineries and haven't been doing anything. Well, I'll save the game, because I have a feeling spawning them all in once might crash it. I'm just going to suddenly have a massive surplus of fuel now. Okay, suddenly I have fuel, because my refineries are now actually working. How many episodes has that been broken for? Oh, I've no idea. That's been broken for absolutely ages. It's supposed to have been around about 20 plus episodes. It's like over half the Let's Play. That entire fuel refinery has just been non-functional. Because you can see now, as it's generating the fuel, it's being split up into a lot more numbers than it was before. So I've essentially just been working off fuel tanks, and look, the fuel is going up everywhere now because of, well, I've had so many more refineries. Okay, well, I'll save the game again, and then we'll go have a look, see what was defeated. So we captured 3 enemy onagers, so let's scrap those for parts. Scrap there. So we lost the pre-war Afaston. We lost the Baneblade, Ashes of the Empire edition. We lost one of the Burnstar Doughboys, light infantry fighting vehicles. We lost the Big Stalin and a battleship. And no. We also lost an anti-aircraft tank. Sorry, Richard Dastardly. I've managed to kill another one of your anti-tanks. I shouldn't find that as hilarious as I do. Okay, so let's take out this tiny little design here, which does admittedly contain a Polaris, but we'll also spread out and then see how everything does. So the enemy have 3 vehicles, but it looks like the Polaris is actually going to launch its nuke. So that is worrisome, so let's see how it goes. Yes, I am very worried about this nuke, and I'm just thinking it hasn't actually launched it. Is it going to detonate itself? But no, there we go. It has launched. I don't really want to be watching the new vehicles, but the nuke is kind of more important. So here it goes, swinging in and detonates there, but it detonates a little bit early, so all the ejection rounds don't actually cause that much damage. So the tank hasn't taken that much damage, and we have a good amount of repair in this force. So it's looking good. I don't think it's going to die. Have a quick glance at the new vehicles, but at the moment they haven't really done anything. The anti-aircraft tank there hasn't actually loaded because hang belt feeders. But Charadon's tank there, that beast of a cannon, is just bombarding at a good range there. Not having much of a problem as I thought. And there we go, the Vanquisher as well, both firing towards that target, annihilating it quickly, along with the missiles. The nuke did go off, and though it didn't do even near as much damage as I thought, in fact. Yikes. Did the vehicle repair itself? I think it did, actually. Yeah, which one was it? It was... yeah, looks like it repaired itself. Oh, the laser emplacement is ready to go. So I'll just quickly do this battle. Yeah, I won't bother showing it. So the battle did we won, but there was a couple of heavy damages, basically because the enemy encircled round the side, and so they ended up just shooting through and basically shooting each other with the high-powered lasers. You can see a couple of turrets got knocked off there, but otherwise everything was okay. But yeah, just a little bit of a problem. It is something I did worry about initially, but they're doing fine, and now they've got fuel, so that's good. So the Whirligig miner is being attacked. No. Let's send in this force as well. Let's bring them up to the front line so we can try and engage as close as possible to the forces. So just move everything all the way up. Right, so it's a fairly standard setup. Whirligig miner did spawn in, so that's probably going to get destroyed. Particularly with all the aiming towards it. Do we have another Polaris? No, we don't. So we should do quite well against this, but saying that, we're going to take a ton of casualties in friendly fire. Look at that, straight away, a massive strike from Particle Accelerator, which is just tearing through the bodywork and popping the turret immediately from the Steel Empire's design. So looking over here, this is taking the brunt of the force. It looks like a lot worse than it is, because this tank before has taken quite very serious damage, but it doesn't actually lose that much in terms of percentage. A couple of tanks trying to flood their engines there, admittedly that isn't really a thing, but still, it's quite a fun thing to mention there. A nasty particle accelerator shot from the Experimental 1, destroying the tank there from behind. So it took a missiles from the front, and then the particle shot from behind, killing it, which is a shame. It was doing so nicely. The Whirligig miner also killed by friendly forces, as it decided to ram them. The cannon is spooling up, but still hasn't quite got its ammunition loaded. The other tank vehicles going in, the Charadon's one and L1 that's there. It's just over in distance, you can spot it, but it is doing. So there's the scrap hamper, just going backwards and forwards a little bit, back and forth, much like it was doing before. And it's about to get rammed in the rear as well. There we go, bonk. Losing a few blocks, but not too bad, and it quickly gets repaired up. Seeing as it's mainly made of wood, it's quite cheap to repair, which is a nice feature for it as well. So it's cheap to repair, but also easier to destroy. It's a little bit of a which is better in terms of from the depths, due to the fact that damage is so, well, wood is very, very efficient at absorbing a lot of damage. So although it gets destroyed quickly, in terms of its cost, if something gets destroyed, making things out of wood often can be quite efficient due to the cost of repairs. As I said, it does depend what is being struck by. And here we go, this is the last couple of vehicles, slowly but surely getting blown to pieces. Nice rare missiles from all our forces coming in, and a few particle accelerator shots as well, finishing them up and just meaning we're doing nicely. And again, our forces being more damaging to our own than ourselves. Looks like that battle finished fairly quickly, though. Took a lot of friendly fire. I think lost a few vehicles to that, so I actually lost the miner due to friendly fire. And yes, I lost this tank, though it took the brunt of the missile assault. I believe it was actually the particle destroyer, one of the particle tanks, auxiliary tanks. Actually, it might have been the experiment. No, I think it's the experimental tank one, which actually did out the killing blow, firing at the rear end with that explosive round, killing it. So, yep, that's another design destroyed. Quite high numbers of casualties so far this episode. Right, let's see if we can get the logistics bot over to here to resupply them before the combat occurs. Should be able to get in range. Come on, there we go. Excellent. So now the Twin Guard force now has fuel. Look at all these Twin Guard forces. That is insane. Them all going all over the place. So Steel Empire force there. That battle might actually occur before these Twin Guard ones. I'd rather Twin Guard battles occur. So let's go and attack this Twin Guard force. No, actually, you know, we'll wait. We'll do the Steel Empire one, because that's where all the new units are. The Twin Guard one can wait. Depending on how long this is, might have enough time to do both. But I don't think the Twin Guard one, because it's going to be all those forces, that's going to be an absolutely massive melee. So I think I'll leave that for next episode. Might mean that this episode's a little bit shorter, but there we go. So there's some very weird feature there. Everything is spawning in. Again, there is a Polaris. This one looks like it's going to kill itself though, because it is partly spawned under the ground. So it's going to launch itself, fling itself up in the air, and crash into that nuke, blowing itself to Kingdom Come. But we will see in a moment. Let us begin. And yeah, immediately the Polaris does exactly what I thought. It flings itself up straight into the nuke, a very common feature, which is quite a common feature of quite a lot of designs to spawn partly in the ground and get flung up in the air. It's just that a lot of them aren't armed with a nuke. But our force is doing nicely again as the Scrapanther, just dancing backward forwards, just getting ready to target in. So just quickly check that everything is supplying resources to each other, because I have a nasty feeling that something had run out of fuel. It didn't look like it had, but I think it's always worth just double checking every now and then, regardless. There we go, at last the anti-craft tank there is firing its rounds and doing a really rather nice amount of strikes there. Its target having been flung into the air, exposing its unshielded underbelly, which makes it a perfect target for that sort of cannon. There goes the Noodle tank, the Basilisk, just dancing around, almost getting killed by our own forces. But there we go, look at all those missiles just dancing around and pinging all over the place, eventually finding a target to strike and cause damage to. The rest of our vehicles are just going around, they're just destroying what little remains of the Steel Empire force. And in fact, this is actually the dangerous point. There's not many Steel Empire forces left, and so a lot of our forces are getting quite cramped together. And so friendly fire is very, very rampant. You can see there another couple of our designs just ram right into each other. Oh no, that's actually a Steel Empire force. But yeah, still, the ramming is happening a lot. And since its position, everything else behind it is going to be shooting at Churchardon's design. You see there, missile strikes, a couple more strike, and there it gets hit by particle accelerators as well. But, as part of course, for Churchardon's designs, it is very resilient. So I just try and jump in to try and capture this, and I immediately get killed. I wanted to try and capture it to prevent more damage to the tanks. So that by the time I just land out of the injection pod, the enemy is down to one design, which is already 2 damaged. Right, so that was actually not as painful as I was kind of expecting. I was expecting it to be a fair bit worse, actually. And it wasn't. That's good. This battle though will take absolutely forever, so I'm not going to do that this episode because, yeah, it's going to take a long time for that battle to complete with the amount of forces the Twin Guard will have, because basically all of these will attack at once. It'll be quite the battle, and it's just going to take forever. But I don't want to be doing that this episode, so just pause the game. And I'm the episode here. So, we did take a lot of casualties with the Onyx Watch Force, but from that realised that my fuel line has not been working for basically the entirety of the Let's Play, from probably when I started adding more in. So that was, yeah, basically the entirety length of the Let's Play, which is annoying. However, it's resolved now, and we can carry on with the rest of Let's Play with fuel in our tanks, and therefore we won't be just lose as much in combat, particularly against the Onyx Watch, where if you stop moving, you die, which is exactly what happened. Regardless, that's it for this episode, so thank you very much for watching this episode of From the Depths, Ashes of the Empire Community Edition with myself and Different. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and or comment below, as it is always great to hear from you lot. Also, be sure to check out the rest of my channel for more From the Depths videos and other games, and also swing by the Discord channel for more direct chatting. Otherwise, that's it from me for now, and I shall see you next time. But until then, I am out. Goodbye.